Hello everyone, I am Matt Lucas. Today we will be talking to Jalill Barnes about his trip to America and what he learned from the experience. Jalill traveled around the States over the last 2 months, did a lot of seminars, a lot of teaching. He did seminars in Chicago, Ohio, also in California. He also worked the TBA, so it'll be interesting to hear him talk about that. I'll invite him in just a moment into the room and we'll get things started. In the meantime, though, this is sponsored by Muay Legends. Put in MTG as your promo code to get 15% off your order. So definitely support the legends of the past and present. There's a few people very excited to get in, including Jalill. So it's nice to see you, Hugh. I'm here. And 1 second, let me invite Jalill in. He is very, very anxious. So again, Jalill has been traveling around the States. He actually just got back to Thailand. There he is. How are you doing, Jalill?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So you just got back to Thailand. You are quarantining in Phuket, correct?
Yes, I'm doing the Sandbox. I got back yesterday morning.
So, I'm sure a lot of people are pretty interested in doing this. So why don't we just briefly talk about it? So you applied for a COE, a Certificate of Entry, to get into the country. My understanding is it's a little bit of paperwork, and then you fly into Phuket and you stay in a hotel. You said your hotel was like $500, and you get to roam around after a day or two, correct?
Yeah, I got to roam around after about 6 hours of chilling in my hotel room. So I got like a cheaper room at this very nice Rawai Palm Beach Resort. It's super nice. I got a cheap room. It was about $500 for 14 days. And I got in at like 11 a.m. They did a PCR test, and then they drove me to my hotel. About 6 hours, my results came back, and I was able to leave my room.
Awesome. And I see you've already been very productive. You attended a dance class.
Yeah, Brazilian style. I was like the only guy doing it, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, next time they have one, I hope to be there to learn how to dance with you. Okay. But let's focus a little bit about the topic at hand. You were in the States for 2 months, a very successful trip, but we want to find out what you learned, especially after being in Thailand for a year, actively competing. What was it like traveling around the States?
Yeah, it was nice. It was kind of weird traveling around the States because, in a sense, I didn't have a job. It was my first time being in America as an adult without like having to work, every day. So everywhere I would go to do seminars, all my friends and the people I know had jobs, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I just come here, do a seminar, make like 1,000, make a few hundred. It was really nice, like to move around, to make some money, and to teach Muay Thai. Like it was great.
Well, I would actually say that doing the seminars and traveling around was your job. I mean, obviously you made money at it, and you were able to do it, I would say at least, because you did the work, your job here in Thailand, and then you were able to basically export your skills to America.
Yes. Yeah, it was definitely hitting me then, like once I would teach and once I would make the money, like, damn, this can actually be like, you can actually make money out of this,
Yeah. I mean, it does require some work, obviously a little bit of luck and a lot of preparation, but you can make it a career, which I think is really important. But what was it like, in terms of the details of teaching the seminars? What did you like about it? What do you think people got out of it?
Yeah, I really liked that people were very receptive, like they wanted to learn real Muay Thai, which is awesome because I feel like when I was living in America, it's like, man, why don't people want to learn real Muay Thai? Like, it seems like everybody kind of like wants to learn bullshit. Like, that's what I thought, And then I went back to teach, and I'm teaching these things, and just to look at people's eyes, like they were ecstatic to be learning like real quality Muay Thai technique, Like I was teaching I told them, I'm not teaching you combos, you know, I don't want to teach you like a combo you can look up on YouTube. I want to show you why you should be doing certain things and at what time you do those things, you know, teaching them more of like the intricacies of the game and scoring. So yeah, they loved it.
Do you think that's something they don't get in the States and that's why they were so interested? Do you think it's, issue of access, because you can look at things on the internet and learn, have a connection to some degree. Why do you think they were so interested?
I think they're interested because, yeah, it's not often that you get to learn that. I think in America, we build people up off of these combos and we kind of teach them like, okay, yeah, you throw your right hand and then your left kick, but we don't show them like, why in the hell are you even throwing this in the first place? Mm-hmm. What are you trying to get out of it other than just to land these strikes, you know? It was a different perspective on like, you don't need to throw all these crazy things. You just need to do these small things right and you can win, you know?
Mm-hmm. And what other opportunities did you get while you were in the States? Because you were there for 2 months?
Yeah, I was there for 2 months. I had seminars, I did privates, and I also had the opportunity of going out to Valor and helping Crew Patrick with some of his fighters and teaching his kids classes and everything. That was really awesome.
So let's talk about the privates and then let's talk about the opportunity at Valor. So what did you learn in teaching these privates? Was that something you'd done before you'd come to Thailand?
Yeah. So before I moved to Thailand, I taught classes and I taught privates, but this time it was a lot more different. You know, before when I was teaching privates, I was kind of like building them up on their techniques and showing them, okay, here's the proper way to throw these things and being a little more like specific. But I think now with the privates, knowing I'm not going to be there long term, I can't be too specific. I have so much knowledge to give them in a short time. So I'm kind of just teaching them big ideas, you know, rather than these small techniques. I noticed that change. Like I want to teach them things that they can practice when I'm gone, you know? Yeah.
And what would be an example of something that you tried to instill or teach while, that's long lasting?
Yeah, so one thing I was big on is posture and ring presence, right? Like your stance and how you look in your stance, how you look when you have energy versus how you look when you're tired, how you look when you're throwing strikes, how you look when you're recovering from strikes, you know? More of like this. Like I made a YouTube video on it, like Roop, you know, like your frame, your posture, how you carry yourself is something I was big on and helping and like teaching people. You need to have Roop, you need to have this dominant persona constantly, you know, and that's something they can practice when I leave, like for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point. When people's postures break, whether it's, from an attack or after attack, or even when the round ends, the judges do take that into account. A good strong way of finishing the round, bam.
Yep.
Or you kick and then you look confident after. It makes a big difference. These are all the small things that add up into a successful fight and a successful experience. Do you think there were other things that you learned from doing the privates? Were you in high demand for them? How did you figure out your pricing? What other lessons did you learn from it?
So when I was in my hometown, I felt, I was in very high demand and there were a lot of people asking for my time, which was kind of hard. When I was at Valor, not so much, I think because not many people knew me personally, so it's kind of harder to get in contact with me. But in Ohio, what was the question?
Did you feel like you were in high demand? How did you figure out pricing? What were some other things that you learned from doing privates?
Yeah, so how I figured out pricing, I really just asked my coach Boggs, okay, like, what are you charging? And I base it off of like his rates, and then when I went to California, I have it's much more expensive there. So I had to ask Crew Patrick, like, what's the going rate? Okay, like this is what I feel comfortable charging, but always like charging a little more because you're always gonna like short sell yourself, You're always like, like I don't know that much, but you have to like charge you kind of have to like put your price in. No one's gonna pay you more than you ask for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to set your price and stick to it, you know.
Yeah. That's great advice, you know, finding out about how the market is from your coach or other trainers, and then, you know, pushing the stakes a little bit as well, because you have put in a lot of time and experience, you know, into your career. You need to be reimbursed for that. So let's talk a little bit about Valor. What was that experience like? What did you learn from it? How did it get set up?
Yeah. So Valor got set up with Crew Patrick has been, we've been talking for a while. Even last year when I was in Thailand, or my last year in Thailand, Crew Patrick and I were talking back and forth. He was supporting me, you know, in like very vital ways. And I'm very grateful for him. And I told him, whenever I come back to the States, I want to come and help out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out there, and immediately he was like giving me game, you know, on the insides of how he runs his business. This man is an evil genius when it comes to like how he runs his gyms, and like the benefits show. Like his kids classes, he has like 30 kids in these 2 classes, and I'm seeing like more teenagers than I've ever seen in a Muay Thai gym in his gym, you know. Usually like at my gym at Ronin, there's a lot of adults and college students because we're on a campus. This is the most kids and teens I've seen like in a Muay Thai gym, which is awesome. And these kids are like, they're solid, you know, they're
They're good. Yeah.
They could come out here now and like, you know, and have a good name. Like he's doing good things there. And he immediately started giving me game. Like this is his mindset and his overview for his business, and like how he builds like his curriculum for his students. And he has like an amazing staff. That's one of the first things I realized is his staff, the people who run the classes, they're amazing. You know, he has meetings with them about curriculum and what they're going to teach. And the benefits show for sure. So I really learned a lot about like how to run a gym in that sense, and like how to treat your staff and how to treat people in general from Patrick in a very short time too. Cause he's like, he's nonstop, you know?
Yeah, he's going. His
brain is going like 30 miles a minute. Yeah. You gotta keep up. Yeah. So I learned so much from being
awesome. Thank you, Daryl, for buying a badge. It's a program in Instagram where you can support creators like us by buying badges. So definitely appreciate that. So one of the things you did was you helped one of the fighters, Jamie Pheap, prepare for his bout at Triumphant coming up, correct?
Yes, Jamie Pheap. Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah. What was that experience like, and what do you think you learned from it?
It was good. That was my first time ever being like a trainer, you know? Like I was holding pads for him. I was watching him on bag work. I was, you know, counting his sit-ups, counting his pull-ups, really like there the whole time. And he's already a high-level fighter. Yeah. So I didn't really have to go back and retrace shit. I was shaving stuff off, you know, because I think in your Muay Thai career, as starting from nothing, you're adding all these things onto your game, right? And you're just adding on, and then you get to like this high-level intermediate, low-level advanced, where you don't need to add anything on anymore. You need to start shaving off this unnecessary stuff, you know, like your telegraphs, or you throw too many things in a combo, you move around too much. Like, so with him, I was just like shaving off all this unnecessary, so he could be like a much more simpler, stronger fighter for his fight coming up. And
basically streamline everything, be more efficient.
Being more efficient with him. And like after the first week, I'm seeing progress, and I'm like, damn, like I told him to do this and he's doing it, you know? It was like cool to see like have this fighter, like, and I'm like showing him how to do these things, and he's like progressing. It was blowing my mind. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you found success in, you know, teaching and in America. Just wrapping things up, because I know you're a busy guy. Is there anything you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Things I want to talk about that I didn't get a chance to talk about. Not really. I think just my trip going back, it really gave me some confidence in the USA and like in our future. Because like I said before, I didn't really have confidence in like people wanting to learn real Muay Thai and having like this hunger, you know, for like good, solid knowledge in the sport. And going back and doing my seminars, I went to Chicago, you know, I went to Prime, I went to Ricardo's gym, Team Toro. I went to like a few places, and watching them, how they absorbed the things I was teaching them was like very, very good. Like I have faith in our country. I have faith in our
Awesome.
fight. Yeah.
That's amazing. And, you know, there's definitely been a lot of development in the States, and very, very excited for you to be part of it, for us to be part of it. Hopefully good things come. So just wrapping things up, where can people find you? Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
You can find me on IG, Buakia_Muay Thai, YouTube at Jalill Barnes, Facebook, Jalill Barnes, or you can find me in Phuket, you know, riding around on my scooter. I have so many people to thank.
Yeah.
I have first off, Crew Patrick, thank you for having me out. He took care of me for real. I had a place to stay. I was never paying for food. He had people clapping for me when I was coming in. It was really awkward. Yeah, but he took care of me, and like I can't wait to go back. I want to thank Coach Boggs, my coach back home, for taking care of me and always giving me guidance. I want to thank Matt Lucas. I want to thank Matt Lucas for helping me out, helping me to get exposure, and giving me a lot of guidance in the sport. I want to thank In Fight Style. I want to thank my Uncle Andre of WMO USA. That's my man. I love him so much. I could go all day. Like, so many people have helped me out in my journey. So I'm very thankful to everybody, even the people viewing, like everybody. Thank you so much.
Well, hopefully you get more people to thank, and hopefully you are able to give back and help these people that have supported you in the future. Definitely appreciate your time, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. See you. Thank you.
Yep.
Please like, comment, subscribe, and share.